All right. This speech that Ibrahim Traore made 5 days ago in Ghana when he was attending John Mahama's ordination, it's a speech that really shakes some African leaders that are greedy and that are corrupt. Okay, especially the sellouts, those who are serving the masters and serving the Western supremacy, Western countries. It's shaking them because Ibrahim Traore, every other day, he's proving to these people that he's on the business and he means business, and nothing is going to shake him and get him out of the track. And therefore, without further ado, I want us to break this speech down. I want us to break it down, and because there are very important things. We are just listening to the speech, but there are very many other very important things that he said in this speech. And when you are listening to this speech, I want you to listen to it very carefully and slowly, follow word by word, so that we can come here back and break it down. Because Ibrahim Traore is a man that does not just do things or speak anyhow. Everything he says, there is some kind of wisdom in it, there is some kind of knowledge in it, and he knows what he is saying. He doesn't just speak. I believe this man is not like those people who, those presidents and leaders who their speeches are written down and then they come and read the speech, the written speech. This is a man who speaks from there. Like he can just come to the podium and speak whatever comes out of the heart because he is a real man and he speaks the truths. So any person who speaks the truth and any person with whom his words are true, those words must come from the heart, not just coming from, not just inventing or creating and then you bring it to people. Okay, so I want us to be able to listen to this speech, and then we can come back here and react on it and talk some one, two, three things about it. Without further ado, let's get after it.
We will win this battle, this war, and we will overcome imperialism, which has activated terrorism in our region, to bring us back to these colonial times, to keep us under their control, to exploit us until the end of time. Africa is waking up, and no one will be able to close the eyes of Africans on our realities. No one will be able to come and divide us, to impose what they want on us. We have done everything to be here today, to speak to you, but also to come and wish President John Mahama a good change. We wish him a good change because there are many challenges. Many challenges await him. And I hope that you can accompany your brothers here. Pan-Africanism is a rather complex battle, but you, the people, it is quite easy for you to lead this Pan-Africanism well, because the people must love each other, the people must support each other. The problem of Pan-Africanism is very often between us, the leaders, but we will put everything in place so that the leaders can go in the direction of their people, because the people are already integrated. They are Pan-African. If today Ghana decided to bring President John Mahama to the head of the country, it is a strong message. And I wish that you, Burkinabe living in Ghana, you can accompany President John Mahama. The task will be difficult. There will certainly be challenges on the security level, on the economic level. I wish that you can accompany the forces of defense and security in Ghana much as you can, both on the intelligence level and on the economic level, as much as you can. Support them as if you were supporting the Burkinabe armed forces. I am telling you something. The challenges can be very numerous. In no case should you lose hope. You must accompany them and help them on all levels. A nation does not survive as long as it does not have a strong army. This is why I reiterate to you again to support the forces of defense and security in Ghana. They are the only ones who can help the country to climb the economic ladder and to flourish. Then I urge you to love the people here, to live in perfect symbiosis, in perfect harmony, as you are already doing very well. As I said, the peoples are already integrated. The problem is at the level of the leaders. Continue in this direction. Support your brothers in Ghana. Support them as much as you can. And above all, show this integrity. A country of integral men, you must be models. The Burkinabe must not create a problem. The Burkinabe must be a solution. You have always known how to behave well through all your leaders present here. And I wish that this dynamic continues and that you can accompany the new president in his enormous task to revive the country's economy and, above all, to defend this country. We will work together to strengthen cooperation between Burkina and Ghana, and also between the AES and Ghana, because we have many challenges together and we have always been able to overcome them. The arrival of the new president must be a moment for us to warm up these relations and bring them to the highest level. In the coming days, we will be able to see what can be done for the benefit of the Burkinabe, both internally and here. The concerns raised by the representative are current concerns. And I think that the Foreign Affairs Ministry is working to be able to reorganize the diaspora so that we can solve these problems as easily as possible. This is why the councils have been established. And the administrative documents and other documents that you need to express your nationality are being modernized if you follow the news. We used to have documents, but it wasn't secure enough. Today we are in a dynamic of securing all identity documents in the country, but also in space, in the US, and harmonizing them. That's why it takes a little time. But in January, normally a meeting must take place with experts to clarify this issue of identity documents. And we hope that by then, you will be able to have your nationality as it should be, Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is committed to a path that you know, a difficult path, perhaps, full of obstacles. But be sure you should never lose hope. You should never be afraid. You should never doubt, just for a moment. From where you are, we hear your support, we feel it. And everyone on the ground, and the population in the country, feels the support of the diaspora. And we are happy to be able to continue in this direction, to motivate your brothers inside, and that we can together restore Burkina Faso. We have a dream, and this dream will be a reality in a very near future. Terrorism will end. We will develop our country, we will develop our industries, and make it easier for you, investors, to come and invest in the country in secure conditions and in economic facilities that you want. We have not forgotten this during the last phase of the Forum of the Diaspora. We are therefore trying to see everything that can be gathered to allow you to come and invest easily for the benefit of your brothers. Because we are an importer country, and we keep saying it. Today, the dynamic is to be able to transform our society. You have the chance to be in Ghana. Ghana is an ingenious country, and I think that a lot of technology can be transferred from here to the country. So we are waiting for you. As for us there, we are developing to bring young people back to production, especially agricultural production, and to transformation. Because we cannot imagine that in this 21st century, we will continue to import almost all of our food from abroad. While we have a huge potential, we have land. This year, we experienced the portion that was secured. We are satisfied with the results. This means that next year, if God pleases, we will continue to provide our support to the peasant world, but especially to young agricultural entrepreneurs who want to get into production and encourage these industries of transformation. Burkina Faso will shine. Burkina Faso will be great. Our dream will come true, if God pleases. And I encourage you to stay united. United among yourselves and united with those who have welcomed you here. Be united with your African brothers. We are reactivating the Institute of Black Peoples because Africa has the same history. We are treated in the same way by imperialists. There is no reason that we are not united and that we block imperialism. Stay united, and show your Burkina Faso wherever you are.
Welcome back again. Thank you so much for watching. I will take you this opportunity to welcome you by all of you into the African Streamline. I tell you, African Streamline is your space and it is your home. Wherever you find yourself in African Streamline, just know you are at home. My brothers and sisters from diaspora, from Caribbean, from Africa in particular, I salute you so much and thank you so much for tuning in. Now, if you have listened to that speech very clearly and very well, you will realize there are things that Ibrahim Traore has been touching on them. Okay, he has been talking like, but there are very other important things, many important things he has been touching in the speech that he has talked about. Ibrahim Traore is a leader, and he's a leader who knows that if I want to build Africa, or rather if I want to build Burkina Faso, if I want to make sure that things are happening well and everything is going on well, and I'm working to be able to achieve the dreams I have for the land of Burkina Faso and vision I have for Africa, there are things I must do. Okay, and that is why when he is speaking, there are things, and most of the times, if you have really been listening to Ibrahim Traore speaking, there are things whenever he speaks, he does not leave these things behind. Number one, when he is speaking in his speech, he tells people we want to embrace love amongst each other, amongst ourselves, because something that really makes Africans not to live to the expectation, rather to live to their to the maximum way of life. It's because there is no love amongst us. Okay, and when you that is why you find out. You see, like the other time, Thomas Sankara coup happened in Burkina Faso the other time, and Thomas Sankara took power. But the person who killed Thomas Sankara, the person who eliminated Thomas Sankara, is one of his friends. Okay, someone who was very close to him, and that is why all the times we talk about a brother being used to kill a brother, a black man being used to kill a black man, or the black person being used to frustrate a black person. These are the things that the Westerners are using. Okay, because even these politicians we're having in Africa, they're black people, but sometimes we ask ourselves, why are they behaving? It is like they are white people. They're not from the land of Africa. Because mothers here in Africa, they are crying. Children here in Africa, they are crying. Fathers here in Africa, they are crying. A black man is crying. Your black brother, your black sister, your black kid is crying because of anger. They are crying because they don't have money. They can't take their children to school. Some of them are sleeping outside on the streets. Okay, and you see, this president, this leader, he is giving a blind ear to everything that is happening. He doesn't talk. He doesn't react on it. He doesn't care whether you cry or you don't cry, whether you sleep outside, whether you sleep angry. It is none of his business. He doesn't care. Okay? So these are the kinds of things we are talking about. A brother being used to make another brother suffer. Okay, which is very bad. But the moment we embrace love amongst ourselves, the moment we decide to keep and embrace love amongst ourselves, we are going to live to the expectation. We are going to live a life that many people will crave for it. Okay, and we shall achieve a lot of things, because if you love your brother and if you love your sister or rather your neighbor, you will want to see him going far. You will want to see him actually prospering. Okay, and therefore, whenever love is stressed, we will be able to help each other. We will be able to work together. We will be able to work together. We will be able to agree on one thing, and that one will enable us to make sure we are achieving a lot of things. And he was speaking this one when he was in Ghana, which means he wants to work with other African leaders who are ready for the task and who are ready to commit themselves in this assignment of revolving Africa, to make sure that Africa is getting back its real and its initial independence, okay, and the freedom. So liberation, he wants to do a liberation, to revolve Africa, but he wants to indulge other people, to engage other people in this fight of revolving Africa, because we want to work as one people, okay? And that is why when he finished talked about love, he also touched at the point of unity. He said, we are supposed to unite as people, as Africans, as black people, okay? We unite, we live as one, okay? You see, Ibrahim Traore, together with the Niger and Mali, they came together, okay? The Sahel, they came together and they decided they're going to do 1, 2, 3 things to make sure their countries are gaining back the real independence, okay? The real independence, not the independent in quotes. You know, this independence in quotes, this freedom in quotes, just freedom because of words, but the real freedom is not there. Democracy in quotes, okay? A Western ideology called democracy. This democracy is just a democracy in quotes, but in real sense, on the ground, there is nothing like democracy. Constitution, we have a constitution, we're supposed to be following the constitution, but this constitution, even the presidents of Africa, the leaders, the politicians of Africa, they are going against the constitution because a white man is telling them to do things that are not right, that are not according to the constitution. And then when another person breaches the constitution to be able to help people, they begin complaining. Those who are saying that Ibrahim Traore did bad to perform a coup in Burkina Faso, you need to be ashamed of yourself, because look at yourself and see where your country is. Their country, Burkina Faso, is doing well than any other country in Africa right now. So you leader, you politician, who you're standing before people and telling people, you're not supposed to be doing, you need to be very ashamed of yourself. Look at what you're doing and look at the things you're doing, and change, make a very good change, because if you don't make a change will come to you itself. Okay, so the issues of following the constitution, you're following a constitution, but the constitution you're following, what is the essence of you following a constitution and the same constitution, it is not helping you? Okay, so it is not about following the constitution. It is not about doing a democratic right. It's about doing the right thing. Because even if it's about democracy, and that democracy is making you to do something that isn't right, leave that democracy, do what is right. That is the main thing that we want. So he talked about unity. When we are united, we shall agree on one thing. And as I was saying, Ibrahim Traore, together with the Sahel region, that is Mali and Niger, they joined hands together to make sure they are changing the Sahel region, and they're changing their countries. They're actually turning their countries around, okay, so they can be able to start doing things in the right way. And so when Ibrahim Traore came to Ghana, he said that they are going to work with Ghana, that he is going to work with President John Mahama, and they agree on some things they are going to do. And he said again, he will also connect Ghana to the Sahel region. This is a leader who is not selfish. He wants best for the people of Africa. He wants best for you and me. He does not only look at himself as a country, as Burkina Faso, or the Sahel region, as Burkina Faso and Niger and Mali. No, he looks at people, at everybody. Okay, when he comes to Ghana and tells Ghana, now I will work with you, and then I will see how I will also talk and make sure we are connecting together with Niger and Mali to make sure we are running our countries very well. It means this is a man who is not selfish. He is a leader, and he does not only want best for Burkina Faso or for the Sahel region. He wants best for all Africans. But there are other blind leaders, blind politicians who are here, who like pretends like they're not seeing this. They're not seeing what is happening. They pretend it's like they don't see anything, any change that Ibrahim Traore is doing. So they continue doing wrong things and leading their people in the wrong way, and pretending that, assuming that they're on the right direction. You're not on the right direction. You need to make a change, or a change will make you. Okay? So this man is preaching unity. When he preaches unity together with love, whenever unity and love connects, whenever unity and love comes together, or they crash, they meet at a certain point, you are making something that is very strong. Because when you love one another, you will definitely be united. Okay, when you get united, you will definitely become strong, because unity is strength. Are you getting my point? So love one another. That love will give birth to unity. That unity will give birth to strength, and then we shall become unstoppable. And I'm calling upon all other African politicians. This is Africa. Let us fight for the country, for the land of Africa, for the motherland, for the continent of Africa. Why should you serve Westerners? Why should you serve white man? Okay, why should you serve the imperialists? Why should you serve the oppressors? These people have been oppressing you for a very long time. All the times they've been oppressing you. But you are there. You just want to continue serving them. Why should you continue serving them? Look at where there is light. Light is coming from the Sahel region. There is light is coming from the Sahel region. Okay? They say that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, that end tunnel is where the Sahel region starts from. Can we get into this tunnel and go towards the Sahel region, because that is the end of the tunnel, and there is where light is coming from. And let us borrow this light, use this light to light all over Africa, okay, so that Africa can come back to light again, because we're in darkness, being ruled, okay, being seated upon, okay, being told what to do, being imposed laws that are not supposed to be imposed on us, breaching our cultures, making bad use of our cultures, and we're just there. We want to continue that, to assume that everything is okay. Everything is not okay, and this is what Ibrahim Traore is talking about, okay. He has he has talked about the visions and the dreams, okay. He's a man who sees tomorrow, and he's a man, you know, when you see someone talking about, for example, he has talked about bringing young people and working with the young people, because Ibrahim Traore knows that a nation of tomorrow, a country of tomorrow, a leadership of tomorrow, the government of tomorrow is going to be the young people who are growing up right now. And therefore, if you want the best thing you can do right now is to impact knowledge to these young people who are growing up, so that when they grow up tomorrow, to become big people, to become people who are old enough to rule our countries, and people who are old enough to make decisions, people who are old enough to bring up families, they will have some kind of skills and knowledge that will have been impacted, have impacted in them. That knowledge that was instilled in them, in their brains when they were still young, they will start working at a time now when they will be needed to begin leading a certain country, to begin actually leading people, to begin governing people, and they will govern people and lead country in the right way. Because you see, the problems we are facing right now in Africa, it is not the problems that we are not the pioneers of the problem, okay. We are not the pioneers of the problem we are in and the misfortunes we are in today. This problem started with our ancestors, okay, because our ancestors made an agreement with the white people. Those agreements are the things that are killing us even today. And that is why on the previous video we talked about denouncing these agreements, okay, denouncing these agreements. Are you getting my point? That is what we talked about, because these agreements, we are serving the contracts that we never agreed upon. Okay, we are serving contracts we never agreed upon. So we have come to realize that our ancestors agreed on the wrong things when we have now gotten some kind of knowledge where these people now, they cannot sit upon our heads anymore, because at least we have woken up and our minds now are beginning to think. Okay, so we are impacting, and we want to impact knowledge and to teach young people. So because we know these young people are the people who are going to hold, they're the pillars of our countries tomorrow, they're the pillars of our nation, they're the pillars of the people of Africa tomorrow. If they grow up with a certain kind of knowledge, they are going to be very useful in the society, they're going to be very good in the society, they're going to help the society at a very huge level. They're going actually to help this society a very big time. And so that is why Ibrahim Traore, if you see me telling you that Ibrahim Traore is a leader, I'm telling you he's a leader because I listen to him every day. I see the things he say, okay? I follow his speeches. I follow his words. He's a man of wisdom. He's not only a leader, he's also a teacher, okay? He's also like a priest, because he's working, everything he does in faith. And when I talk about faith, that bridges me to my next point. You see, Ibrahim Traore says that Burkina Faso will be well, okay? It will shine, and the dreams they've been having and the visions will one day come true. This is a man who is living by faith. This is a man who everything he says it by faith, because he knows this thing will come to happen one day. That is faith. Okay, some African leaders don't even know about, like, they even don't know. They're just pretending to be people who understand the things of God. They go to the churches, splashing money around, offering churches 50 million shillings, 100 million, and there are people there in Turkana who are dying because of anger. They're sleeping outside. Children are not going to school. They're reading, they're learning from under the tree. And a whole president of a country goes to a church, a well-developed church, a church that has got people who are rich, and giving that church 100 million. Why are you giving people in the church 100 million, or rather funding a church with 100 million? And there's a child in Kajiado, in Turkana there, who is learning from under the tree. When the rain comes, it splashes on them. There is dust everywhere. Those children get sick every day. There is no food, there is no water, and you're taking 100 million to the church, pretending you are so holy that you can We don't want to see your holiness from what, like, you don't have to show us your holiness. Let us see the holiness. People like Ibrahim Traore, they're showing an act of faith by the things they do, by the things they speak, by the way of life. Those are the kind of leaders we want. The kind of leaders who are going to revolve Africa, the kind of leaders who are going to turn Africa around, to bring a change to Africa. Okay, so that speech that Ibrahim Traore made in Ghana was a very strong speech. Some of us, we listen to it, we just don't know, we just listen to it and move. But you need to listen very carefully and try to understand, what is it that this man is saying? What is it that this king is saying? What is it that this master is saying? What is it that this lion is trying to roar? Because, you know, I tell you every day, and I will tell you again, that if Africa would have been a jungle, then Ibrahim Traore would be the lion. Because as they say every day, that the lion is the king of the jungle. And if Africa would have been a jungle, then Ibrahim Traore would have been the king, because he roars every day. And anytime he roars, people respond. When he went to Ghana, he roared. When he roared, everybody had to respond, my friend. People were on the streets singing Ibrahim Traore, because he is a man of integrity, a man who is kind, a man who is not arrogant, a man who is not proud of himself. He's a man who has got the interests of people, a man who loves his people, a man who cares about his people. That is who Ibrahim Traore is, okay? And, you know, when he was about to finish, he really stressed on the part of unity, saying that African people and black people need to come together. Okay, this one should go to diaspora, this one should go to Caribbean, this one should also come to Africa. Black people, anytime you meet a black person, see him and see her as your brother. Okay, that is the only way you people we can be able to actually save ourselves. So black people should come together, should join hands together, should unite together, because black people are all the same. Every black country in Africa, talk about Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Angola, Cameroon, Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, Niger, Burkina Faso. Talk about which country? Talk about Angola, talk about Liberia, talk about Libya, talk about South Africa. All these countries, we have gone through the same problems, we have gone through the same issues. Okay, all of us were colonized, all of us were oppressed, all of us, we went through the same kind of problems, and even today we are still facing the same kind of problems. Every black country in Africa, these people are trying so hard to make sure they are coming into your country, and they are trying to manipulate your systems of government and messing up around with you. And like, we, all of us are going through the same problems. So birds of the same feathers should always flock together, as a say says that birds of the same feathers should always flock together. We are like the birds of the same feathers. We are experiencing the same misfortunes. We are experiencing the same predicaments. We are experiencing the same problems. We are experiencing the same downfalls. We are experiencing the same challenges. We can only overcome and come out of these challenges if we can join our hands together and say we are one, and we are going to do this thing and work it out as one people. Okay, so let us come together. Number one, embrace love. Number two, embrace unity. Number three, let us support each other in everything we do. That is why Ibrahim Traore comes to Ghana and tells Ghana, I want to work with you, and we are going also to connect with Sahel, that is Niger and Mali and Burkina Faso, to be able to become one thing. I believe if any other country right now in Africa wants to join Burkina Faso with some, and when we verify the genuinity in you, we can be able to trace it. Ibrahim Traore, he's not a selfish man. He's not a selfish leader. He will say, come, let's work together, because our aim is to revolve and to liberate Africa and to get Africa to a position of its initial freedom. Okay? So let us support each other. Number four, let us try to look for the strategies. Strategy number one, impact young people. Strategy number two, develop your countries. Strategy number three, put yourself in a position where these people, when they want to come to you and try to do something, they do not find anything they can use to come and enter into your countries. Because we talked in the previous video about the military advisors who are coming in, they're trying to interfere with you people, then they make decisions for you, things like those ones. Do away with those people. Those are strategies, okay? When you do away with those people, you become someone who is very unstoppable. The issues of denouncing the agreements, denounce these agreements. You are not the one who made these agreements. It was your ancestors, and they didn't make these agreements because they wanted to make it. They made these agreements because they were manipulated, okay? Some of them didn't know what they were signing into. Some of them did not know even what were they agreeing into. Now, we people who have grown up, people who have the knowledge now, we have found some knowledge. We understand now whatever they agreed on, the agreements they had were agreements that they agreed on without understanding. And it is not their problem. We don't blame them. Okay. And so, because we now have that mind, let us denounce those agreements. Those are some of the strategies we're supposed to be using, okay, and raising our level of productions, doing all those things like investing in agricultural sectors, investing in educational sector of our young people, okay, bringing and embracing our national languages, not English. English is not our national language. We just using it because we have no otherwise. But in future, we are going to implement our national languages. The use of Kiswahili should be at large. The use of our mother tongues should be at large, and we should do away with these other languages like French and Spanish and all those languages. We're not supposed to be using them because they are not our initial languages. Those are even also, again, strategies. Coming up with our currency and all those things, it is also a strategy we are supposed to be using as Africa, because Africa needs to come back together and unite and become one thing. So that speech was very, very, very significant. If only you would have taken your time to listen to it time and again, you would realize was a very significant speech, and he has a lot of things he is trying to actually bring on the table, and he is actually trying to air them out. He talked about dreams and visions. That also tells us, as we are fighting, as we are struggling to fight for the revolution, for the liberation of Africa and for the freedom of Africa, let us have faith in God and believe that God is going to make all these things happen. They are going to come through in one way or the other. As long as we commit ourselves into it, we stay determined, we stay on the track, we do not lose our way, we are going to achieve all these things, and these things are going to come true on our hands, and we shall enjoy them. Our children will not suffer anymore. Our generations that are coming after us, they will live in peace, and they will live to the expectations. And therefore, that speech was very significant and was very influential. Listen to it again and again and again and again, and you'll be able to understand Ibrahim Traore is not just anybody. He's not just anybody. He is a leader, and that leadership, he never trained for it. It is a leadership that is inbuilt, a leadership that came with him when he was born. He was born with this wisdom. He was born with this leadership. We are seeing it. We have seen it, and we shall continue to forever seeing it. Thank you so much for being in African Streamline. Thank you so much for the African Streamline family, the Black people from diaspora, from Caribbean, and from Africa in particular. I salute you so much. Keep on tuning in. Keep on being here, because I tell you every day, when you find yourself in African Streamline, just feel at home. Just know you are at home, because this is your space. Africa ni nyumbani. Africa is home. Anything that concerns Africa concerns me and you as African people, as Black people. All right, guys. Adios.